Everyone, welcome. So it's 2026 now, and I haven't recorded in so long. I know my background is very blur or dark. Um, I'm like in a dark mood, so I just wanted to if you can see my background, I just wanted to record in the mood that I'm in because, to be frank, I'm like not really happy right now. Um, So I just first of all got my book club sweatshirt merch, which I made for my local book club. I love it. It's cute. Anyways, so I wanted to talk about something. I'm turning 26 in like a month and 1 week, and I'm just like over everything. Know that I'm 25, obviously, but I don't really look 25. I don't really look my age. I look like an 18-year-old, but you should have seen me when I was 18. I looked younger even than that. I always looked young for my age. Some people call it blessed. I think it's just because I have a lot of fat. I was just recording a video of myself opening something that I got as an early birthday gift from my boyfriend, and I had a double chin the whole entire video, pretty much. And it was a horrible angle, and it was horrible lighting. And basically, I just feel like shit. I feel like I'm about to crash out. I was opening a Briar Horse, which I haven't gotten a Briar Horse in 13 years because the last time I had a Briar Horse was when I was 13. If you don't know what a Briar Horse is, they're kind of like collectibles, but when you're younger, you might have gotten them as toys, but like I did, and like played with them, but they're also like collectibles. And this year they had a year of the, it's the year of the horse or whatever for 2026. So they made a very special, 2026 year of the horse, like Chinese New Year horse. And he's beautiful. And I got him for my birthday from my boyfriend. And that's the first time I've had a Briar horse in 13 years. I got rid of all of them when I was 13. I played with them from like 10 to 13, and then I just got rid of them because I thought it was weird. I grew up and went into high school and didn't want to play with toys anymore, and I wish I kept them because they're also collectibles, and I could have probably sold them for money or saved them for my children one day. Because they had a lot of good memories associated with them, but I was insecure and I didn't want to be judged going into high school, so obviously that is why I got rid of them. So I was opening the gift and I was recording it because my boyfriend's at work, so he couldn't see me opening it, so I was like, I'll just record myself opening it, and I looked ridiculous. The lighting was bad, I had a double chin. I did not look like this. Okay, this is good lighting. This is above my face. You can't see my double chin, but girl, I have one. I've had one since I was a baby. I have baby photos with like the world's biggest double chin. Okay, I always have had a big double chin my whole life. It doesn't matter if you know, what am I saying? This is my problem. I can't stay on track. It doesn't matter if I felt like I lost the weight. When I was anorexic, even I still had a bit of a double chin, but it was like barely anything, but it was still there. And I was like 100 pounds, at like 5'5", so I was skinny and too skinny, and I still had a bit of a double chin. Now I'm 5'6", fully grown, 25-year-old, and it's been like 10 years since I've been anorexic. I still deal with triggers, but I'm not anorexic. The last time I had an eating disorder was when I was bulimic, which was in 2021. I would throw up my food after eating, or just, yeah, after eating, obviously. Uh, because I didn't want to get fat, or I was fat, actually. I was overweight. Again, I've struggled with my weight my whole life. Middle school, I was overweight. high school, lost the weight. Then I started gaining the weight senior year because I was healing and I was going vegetarian and vegan from my eating disorder. And then I graduated, was pretty healthy for a while. And then I gained the weight back when I was in a relationship in 2019 to 20, what was it? 2021, I think. And then we broke up, moved to LA, realized I was really big, wanted to lose weight again, felt like shit, was bulimic. Super also fucking my bullshit. Was a little bit anorexic as well, but not as much. I was still eating, just eating healthier and working out a lot every day. I would go to the gym, do cardio. Then I lost the weight, got down to 100, and well, I was 195 at my heaviest in my relationship, and I got down to 155. Actually, the lowest I've gotten is to 145, but I've gained 10 pounds in a year, so that's great. I'm trying to get back down to my goal weight, which is ultimately like 125 to 135. I'm 5'6", but I know that, maybe 125 isn't healthy, but like 130, 135 is fine. 125 is fine as long as I have muscle and I'm still eating. The biggest thing is I'm learning how to eat healthy now, and I am trying to count my calories again and fast, which is what has always worked for me. It doesn't matter if I eat vegan, vegetarian. I will say when I don't eat meat, I am a little lighter, just naturally. I think that's normal because meat is just gross. I'm going vegetarian again. I'm pretty much vegetarian completely. Sometimes I'll still eat meat on my sandwiches, but for the most part, I am vegetarian and I consciously am choosing to be vegetarian. I'm taking vitamin B12 this time because the last time I did it when I was younger, I fucked up, ruined my iron, wasn't taking B12, wasn't taking iron until later on when I was already fucked up. Had bruising for years. I still do sometimes because of the fact that I was not taking supplements the first time around. And so I am still bruising sometimes, but it's only really when I work out or anything that like causes my muscles to have some type of like strenuous activity on them. Or if I run into something really hard, naturally I'll get a bruise. I think that's kind of normal though, but my iron levels are good now. But yeah, I've had bruising since the first time I cut out meat completely for a long time, for years. And so yeah, I'm back on my weight loss journey and eating really healthy. I've been researching gut health because it's something I want to work on. Is controlling my bowels and my microbiome and my gut health. Okay, so I was taking pre and probiotics for like month and then I stopped taking them because honestly they're fucking expensive, and I think they did their job because I don't need to really drink coffee anymore to poop. Like I can, not to be TMI, go potty without drinking coffee. Um, and I still should probably take some pre and probiotics occasionally. But yeah, I'm trying to eat better and yeah. All that being said, seeing this video of myself completely triggered me. I had a moment where I pretty much like freaked out, was about to have a breakdown. Um, it's winter. I have not been working out consistently like I should be. We've had 2 winter storms in the last month, so getting out to the gym has been pretty awful and hard, and I've been sick as well, so there's that. So I worked out at home for a bit, but barely, honestly, I've barely been working out. My biggest concern is my eating habits because for me, I do want to gain muscle, but I also need to lose the rest of the fat on my body. And in order for that to happen, I need to first focus on my calorie intake and my food, what I'm eating, what I'm not eating, my supplements, my everything like that. Then I can focus again on gaining muscle and getting back to being, the ultimate goal, which is just a really strong person, a really strong woman with, like no fat on my body. Um, but yeah, so I'm not focused on building muscle right now. I'm focused on losing weight. So working out has not been a priority for me. If I do work out, I like to do cardio. I like to run. I don't really like weightlifting right now. I do it, but it's such a pain in my ass. I like to feel strong, so that's why I do it, but I I'd rather do cardio, to be blunt. So this is all to say, this tangent is to say that I have been dealing with a trigger today. I also read Jeanette McCurdy's book, I'm Glad My Mom Died, and in there she does talk about a lot of, I mean, she had anorexia and bulimia for years and years and years. She's healed from it now, thankfully, but yeah, she was really bad with it, and that triggered me since reading that. That's put me in a bit of a trigger, and also this video has not put the icing on the cake. So in these moments, I find that I don't want to eat at all, ever again. But I know that's not realistic, and I know that's not going to happen, and so I try to focus on what I can control, such as counting my calories and fasting. I'm having a friend come to visit us this weekend, and we are going into the city and stuff, and I know we're going to be eating out, so I know calorie restriction is basically going to be out the window. It's really hard to eat out and eat low calorie, let alone to actually keep track of how many calories you're eating when you eat out, because you actually have no idea. Versus when you eat at home and you know exactly what you're eating. And so, yeah, I'm just a little bit triggered right now. But I'll be okay. You know, something I've been learning lately as well is to be myself and to stop caring. I went through this very long phase last year where I cared so much about pleasing people, being good enough, being cool enough, making sense, like making sure people liked me. And now I'm just like, you know what, I'm just gonna be myself. If people don't like me, that's their problem. And that's something that has shifted into this new year is that like I no longer am trying to impress people or act a certain way to make sure that they like me or to make sure that I am good enough or pretty enough or make sense enough. You know, I don't care. I don't care if you don't like me. I don't care if you think I'm ugly, annoying, you know, fat, whatever. I care what I think about myself, but I don't care what you think about me. Unless you're someone important to me, but unless you're someone that I like really value, like I really don't care. And so I also find that even if I do value a person, you know, like acting like not me is really hard to maintain and very draining. As opposed to if I just am myself and not care if the text sounds stupid or if I sound stupid or if, you know, like I sound immature or I sound mean or I sound whatever. Like, as long as I'm trying to be, you know, like a good person and stuff, then that's all that matters. And so that's my rant for today. If I could give you any advice, then it would be that being yourself is the only way. Um, that being said, that, you know, involves some type of self acceptance. Something I'm struggling with still is my self love and self acceptance, as we heard today from what I have mentioned so far about what I'm being triggered about and what I'm dealing with. I haven't been doing a podcast for a while. Okay, so this is basically me coming back from a hiatus, and I can't guarantee that I will be doing this weekly or anything, honestly. I am in school, I have a full time, I'm in school full time, I'm working pretty much all the time as well, and I am also, you know, running my own life essentially. And I'm not getting paid to do a podcast and probably won't get paid to do a podcast ever. Or if not that, then for a very long time. You have to have a following, you have to have people that want to listen, and also you have to, you know, make it known on social media. And that's not something I care enough to do right now. I'm just doing this for fun, and if people listen, that's great, and if not, then whatever. This is kind of like my rant zone. Like, This is like my tangent zone. And if you listen, then I hope I help you. But honestly, sometimes I can't even help myself, so I can't even guarantee like that I can help you. And when I was starting podcasting, I wanted to be like Ashley Corbo and all these people that actually have a message in each episode that they do and are trying to help people, but honestly, I can't even help myself. So I don't know that I can help you. I want to help people and give them advice and teach them lessons that I've learned so they don't have to learn things the hard way like I did most of the time. But the truth is that I'm still figuring it out. I'm still learning, and as much as I have grown with like my life experiences and things that I've learned, I'm still learning so many things too. Like I still have no idea what I'm doing most of the time. Um, but I act confident and then it kind of helps a lot. Um, when you don't know what you're doing, you just have to act like you know what you're doing, and then people think you know what you're doing, and then they go with it. So, yeah, but that was a lot of info, guys. I feel better now. Um, but yeah, I mean, obviously, we talked about eating disorders and stuff, which is not fun to talk about for anyone. Whether you've had one or not, it is just not a fun topic. So I'm sorry if that triggered anyone, but like, we have to also understand that, like, going back into anorexia or being bulimic is not ideal. And I like to think about how far I've come with my body because I really fucked up my metabolism for so many years. I after I was done being anorexic, which I was anorexic from when I was like 14 until I was probably 17. I had to recover, and I'm really glad that I found, veganism and vegetarianism because that kind of helped my body adjust to food again in a really natural way where it was healthy and it wasn't like too much food. It was like enough and I was getting my nutrients and everything. But once I started introducing meat again and I started eating out with my last partner and like going crazy, dude, like my metabolism is bad. My metabolism is a year above my age all the time. So that means it's a little slow. I think that happened because I was anorexic and I messed it up young. And so now for the rest of my life, I'm going to have a kind of really slow metabolism. Um, you can check your metabolism age on a scale that is made specifically to check those things, and I have one. And yeah, my metabolism age is always a year above my age currently. So right now, my metabolic age is 26 and I'm 25. So yeah, the ideal metabolic age is pretty much like your age or younger because that is basically how I believe, I'm not positive, but I think that's how you can tell how fast it is. So mine's a little slow. And so I have always struggled with my weight. Sometimes I talk too much and I forget to breathe. Okay. Um, excuse me. So I'm not gonna go back to like fucking up my body again even more. I was in high school and anorexic, and I wanted to donate blood because we had like you could go donate your blood, and they told me my iron levels were bad, so I couldn't. And then I tried again another time, and they told me the same thing, and I was super irritated because I just wanted to donate blood so bad, and that's because I was anorexic. Obviously, I had bad iron, and so now my iron levels, I have to go get my yearly blood work, but from what I can tell, everything's good there. Has been for a while, so I'm not trying to go back to ruining that again. I'm not trying to go back to, you know, fucking up my metabolism. I'm not trying to go back to being miserable all the time because I'm hungry or throwing up my food because I feel bad because I feel fat. I'm not trying to go back to that miserable life where I was miserable. And then let's say I lose all my weight, get really skinny. Well, then one day I decide to eat again. And then guess what? You're going to gain it all back. So, weight loss is a process and it's slow, but you can make it faster by starving yourself. But it's not going to last. You're going to gain all the weight back plus some. So if you actually want to lose weight and keep it off, you actually have to do it over the course of years and years. To get to the body that I want, it's probably going to take another couple years. But to be honest, I've been a little bit off. I was going through a phase recently where I did not count my calories, did not fast, and luckily I didn't really gain any weight because my body is healthy again, but like I did gain like 10 pounds, but like that's nothing. Honestly, you can lose 10 pounds pretty quickly. And it's not something that like makes a significant difference in terms of like how you look. It's not like I gained 30 pounds or 20 pounds even. So yeah, I am going back to counting calories and fasting. I haven't been consistent, but I'm trying to remember. I feel bad, but then I try to do better the next day because I am a human being and I am taking this process as it comes and I'm not perfect, obviously. So that has to be your viewpoint. Is a lot of like self-love and a lot of self-forgiveness, patience with yourself because it's hard and you're not going to see results overnight no matter how much you try, and if you do too much you might, but I'm telling you, you'll gain all the weight back plus some, and you will be even bigger, so don't do that. One day you are going to break and want to eat again if you are anorexic, and that day, you think it's not going to happen to you, but it will. And that day is the day when everything will change. And unless you're eating healthy and trying to, get your nutrients in a healthy way, like if you're binge eating after coming out of anorexia, you're going to gain all the weight back. And you are going to still gain some weight even just from eating in general because your body has been hungry for so long that it stores the fat and it wants to keep all the nutrients in case you starve yourself again. Starving yourself is a level of self-hatred that is absolutely miserable. It'll put you and everyone around you in a complete energetic level of miserableness. Honestly. And personally, I don't want to be that miserable again. That's the reason why those are the reasons why I choose not to be bulimic or anorexic, because it is miserable and it is self-hate on a tremendous level that is honestly sad and honestly like just not, no one should ever have to go through it, but then we choose to put ourselves through it and it's horrible. It's like living in hell if hell was on earth because you're always hungry, you're always angry, you lose hair, you lose your period, you lose weight, yeah, but you also lose family and friends because they want to help you but they can't, and they don't want to be around someone who's like that, or they try to put you in treatment, or they're always bothering you and making comments. And it's just like a never ending cycle of like ruining your body and killing yourself slowly because that's what you're doing is you're slowly dying. So those are the reasons why I remind myself we're not going back to anorexia. I want to lose weight. I'm upset with my body. Fine, fair. But we're not going to be extreme about it. We're going to be healthy about it. We're going to choose better foods. We're going to slowly, like, change my diet. We're going to cut out meat. We're going to take supplements and vitamins and pre and probiotics. And we're going to make sure that we're still healthy and working out and being like a healthy person. So, yeah. I hope you guys got something out of this. I always say that in my, podcasts and videos, but I'm sure, someone out there resonated with something. I don't really know if I gave any advice or helpful information. I feel like mostly this was just a tangent. But that's what was on my mind, and I don't want to use like AI or like anything like that to help me like generate my thoughts. I kind of just want to be authentic about it and with that being said, it's going to be all over the place and it's going to be kind of unhelpful sometimes. Sometimes you're just going to be listening to me rant, and that's okay. And yeah, thank you for being here though. I don't know when I'll post again, but thank you for listening, and yeah, bye.